Okay, so in this video, we will cover a very important topic that is TestNG. And as we all know that TestNG is a very popular testing framework that is used along with Selenium. And why it's important, it's because it allows us to write tests in a way that we can write different test methods. We can use assert class for using assertions. And right now you can see that we used the main method to execute this Selenium code, and we can't use assert method. So that's because Selenium is mainly used for interacting with elements in the browser. For proper writing test methods and using test annotations and using the assert class, we need the TestNG testing framework. So let's go ahead and start. So first of all, what you need to do is head over to your pom.xml, and just like we added a dependency for a Selenium, we need to add a dependency for TestNG. So what we are gonna do is we're gonna go to Google and write TestNG Maven dependency, and then from this site, from Maven repository, we will get this latest version, and just like before, we're just gonna go and copy this and paste it here in pom XML. So like I mentioned before, that if you see like this text in red, and if there are any errors which are unresolved, what you need to do is right click, go to Maven and do reload project. And what would that do is that would resolve all the issues for you. So now that we have TestNG added, we can go back to our tests, and like you can see over here that we don't have any assertions, we're just performing actions using Selenium. So let's go ahead and import a few things over here. First of all, let's import some annotations. Import org.testng.annotations. So we have many annotations over here, like test, after method, before test. So for now, we're just gonna be importing this test annotation. And what we can do with this test annotation is that now we can write our test methods we don't need to use this main method. We can use like more meaningful names for our tests, and we can add many test methods over here. So for instance, this is a test for login, so I'll just simply write this as login with correct credentials, and here I can add an annotation for this test like this. So now my code knows that this is a test. So now I should be able to run this test file with this method, but not quite, because I would first need to add the configuration for TestNG, because right now if I try to run this file, it will say that there is no main method found, right? So in order to do that, I would go to my settings, and then I would add a plugin for TestNG first, and here my TestNG should be enabled. So now when I try to add a configuration for my tests, I should be able to add a configuration, right? And let's name this as tests, and the kind would be test suite, but I don't have my testng.xml yet. So in order to do that, I would need to add another plugin here. It's actually this one, create testng.xml. I will just enable this, and if it's not installed, just install it. So now I'll be able to create a testng.xml by right clicking on my first test, and yeah, I should be able to see this option, create testng.xml. Yep, go OK. So now my testng.xml has been created here. You can see I can see test login with current credentials over here, and that's the only test that I can see because yeah, that's the only method that I have, right? So in order to make this look better, just do Control Alt and L, so that would format this file for you, right? And now yeah, now I should be able to run this file. Oh yeah, I didn't add my configuration yet. Let me go ahead and add a new configuration. Go to TestNG, write tests, test suite, and here's my testng.xml, and just click OK here. So that should run my tests here, right? So now if I run this file, run this method, so it failed for some reason. Yeah, I see what I've done. When I removed the main method and changed the method's name, I didn't remove these string and args. So what I need to do is I need to remove this, and now when I run my login method, I should be able to run it without any issues. So yeah, it runs, but again, there are like no assertions. So let's go ahead and add an assertion for this test. So the assertion that I'm going to be adding is asserting that this title, that like the title is equal to Swag Labs, right? So let's go ahead and add an assertion for that. So this is my assertion, and what it's actually asserting is that the expected title should be equal to the actual title that the driver is getting from the web page, right? So let's run this test. So let's see. Yes, our test has passed, right? So in order to fail this test, let's maybe add a wrong assert expected title, and let's go ahead and run this again. So yeah, my test has now failed because the expected title was not equal to the actual title. So let's do the same for our other test, that tests add to carts. So now you know what you need to do. You need to import annotation org.testng annotations test, and then replace this main method with a proper name like add to cart, right? And add a test annotation to it. Right, so first of all, let's go ahead and run this test. Let me close these browsers. So yeah, this runs fine, but let's add an assertion to it. Let's say that we want to assert that this element is displayed when it's clicked. So let's go ahead and grab its ID. So here I've just basically added a simple assertion that remove button is displayed, right? So let's go ahead and run this test as well and close this browser first. So yeah, my test is passing. So now what I want to do is last thing, I want to be able to run these two tests through my testng.xml. So as you can see that I can only see my one test, that's test login. So let's go ahead and create this testng file again. So I'm just gonna right click on my first test and go create testng. So that should create my new testng file here. So my new testng file is created, and it should have, yeah, add to cart as well as the login test as well. Yep, it has both the tests. So again, what I'm gonna do is control alt. What I'm gonna do is control alt and L, and that will format my testng file so that it looks more nice and readable. So what I'm gonna do is run my testng.xml. So that would run both of my tests. Yep, so now when I go back, all my tests are passing and running. So hopefully this was a helpful video, and hopefully I think it was easy to follow on how to configure TestNG in your Selenium project. So in case there are any questions, feel free to comment. Thank you.